It's the Griddle Guru coming at you live from Mad City Smash House. It's Saturday afternoon. I'm going to do something I've never done before. And I know what you're thinking. I have a podcast that's about griddling. Do you know what this is? It's a brisket. It's 21.2 pounds. I just measured it. I know what you're thinking. Is this guy really going to try to cook a brisket on a griddle? Ain't nobody got time for that. No, I was given this brisket for a Christmas present. And just so that my listeners know, again, I'm not just in my head. My head's not just in the clouds about griddling. I do smoke occasionally. I do not grill anymore, but I do like to smoke things occasionally. But I'm a novice, so if you're watching this, I'm probably going to be doing everything wrong. So you don't really have to follow what I'm doing here. But I just want you to know that the Griddle Guru is not opposed to occasionally smoking a brisket. I've never done one before, and so I thought maybe I'd have some fun with this. I'm actually was given last summer, not just this cookbook, but I was given a big green egg, which is behind me. Well, it's behind you guys over there. I'm doing a dry run with it. I've got a Smoke X4 with a billows attachment, which is basically a fan to control the temperature for me, because I've tried to cook ribs on the smoker before, and it's hit or miss. And so with this brisket, I don't want to screw this up. And so I have a fan that's controlling the temperatures. I'm doing a dry run and making sure I know how to use a fan. But all that to say, I'm gonna cut into this. I'm super anxious, which makes me think about all the people out there who are new to griddling, the anxiety you must have. If it's anything like the anxiety I have right now to cook this brisket, I hope the podcast alleviates your anxiety, because I'm super anxious about this. So I'm gonna cut into this. I've got a fillet knife. This is a fishing knife. I don't know what I'm doing. It's a fishing knife. There we go. We're just gonna open this bad boy up. My goal, my plan is to try to get this fat off of here. I've honestly probably watched, I don't know how many hours worth of video, YouTube videos on how to smoke a brisket. So I would give credit to the people that I watch, but I watch so many videos, I don't even know where to begin. So, I'm not gonna lie. Like if I had a heart monitor on right now, you would see that my heart is racing, because this is a big honking slice of meat. And I don't know about you guys, but the price of meat right now is out of control, and I don't want to waste this. Eggs are $7.50, which is insane. So I'm going to go ahead and take this out of the package, and I'm assuming I've got to wipe this down, wipe this off. I have no idea. So I'm going to go see. I don't know what I'm doing. This is chaos. I'm going to pat this down. Good gracious. I'm going to pat this down some because it's dripping. Oh my gosh, this is going to be chaos. Oh my gosh, this thing is huge. Oh, here we go. This thing is a bloody mess. Not like a curse word mess. It's like literally bloody. All right, here we go. Oh my. Got to start lifting weights. All right. I think I should probably rinse this off. I don't know. I'm going to go do it. I'll be right back. Try to make this quick. Dear goodness. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. I don't know what I'm doing here. I am legitimately concerned about this. Is this the point? I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, this is the hard fat meat that I was told to cut off. So I'm going to start cutting this off. Oh yeah. Hacking at this fat. I was told I was supposed to keep this. I've got a pan back here that I'm going to, if it sounds like I'm out of breath, it's because I am. Take this piece of fat here and put it down there. Man, this is a hunk of yeah, this is the really tough fat that I heard you're supposed to just cut off. Trim this down. Ooh, see, that's kind of the soft fat. I heard you're supposed to keep 1/4 to 1/8 inch of the fat on the brisket to protect it. Again, I don't know. I'm shooting blind here. This is probably going to be one of the most boring videos. Ooh, I'm butchering this. That's definitely not 1/8 inch. That's like, yeah. All right. Well, just keep cutting this fat away. I think after I'm done cutting this up, it's probably going to be like 15 pounds, because there is a ton of fat on this. Trimming this off. Oh yeah, that's some hard fat. This is like a whole Man, look at that. It's just like all fat. Big old chunk of fat here. All right. It's really tough fat. I'm trying to lose a finger here. All right. Just keep cutting this down. There's something called a point on here. I don't know what the point is. I mean, gosh. I mean, this is something else. Tell you what. I'm not going to be cooking this quickly like anything I would on the griddle. But, yeah. Of course, by the time you watch this, I'll probably have my son edit this video so you're not having to watch this every little second. Because this is going to take some time, people. I'm trying to cut off all this fat. Man, this is no joke. Tell you what, I've never had to work this hard on the griddle. Even the seasoning. Even the cleaning. Don't get me wrong, I'm having fun, but I just don't know what I'm doing. All right. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Man, that's a lot of fat. Just going to keep cutting it. Just cutting off thin layers because I'm nervous if I cut a big hunk off, I can't put it back on, obviously. So, I would hate to do that. Oh, here we go. Man, I heard you're supposed to render this fat down as some sort of like juice for later, but I don't. It's kind of gross. I mean, fat's not gross, but I mean, it is. I suppose there's no difference between this and bacon grease, huh? All right, keep cutting this. Yeah, I heard you're supposed to use boning knives for this. I'm using a fish fillet knife because it's somewhat flexible and able to bend some as I'm cutting said brisket. But again, I have no idea what I'm doing here. What I'm doing now is only what I observed people doing on the YouTube. Getting nervous that I'm going to cut right into the meat. So far, I haven't really cut down too far. But I feel like at any point I'm going to break into the, oh, I guess I can see on the side there. Yeah, it's getting close. Some of this meat, fat is really hard. And if I remember the YouTube video correctly, it said you should get the hard fat off, which is a lot of this. Here we go. Oh, gosh, I skinned it there. See, okay. Tell you what, it's a good thing I have a sharp knife. All right. Again, I apologize. If you're watching this and you're bored, you don't have to keep watching. But you know what? I could end up losing a finger. This is a way to entice you to keep watching. I mean, I hope I don't. But, yeah. So I'm smoking this brisket. I'm going to start it at midnight tonight. I'm going to set it at 225. And I'm planning on checking on it 6 o'clock in the morning or so before I go to church. I'll check on it, see what it's looking like. If it gets to 165, I'm going to wrap it because there's some sort of stall that happens at 165. So yeah, I'm cooking this for Super Bowl Sunday. I'm going to watch the Eagles, take it to my homies. Gosh, this is a lot of tough, hard fat right here. Oh, just starting to get to the piece where I think I shouldn't keep cutting much more here. It feels still pretty hard though. So, in essence, what you want to do is, again, I'm not a guru in this world, but I guess the gist of it is you want to keep a layer of fat on here for flavor, obviously, but also just to protect the meat from being overcooked. Do not ever cut towards you like I just did. Again, please don't think that I'm trying to teach anybody anything. This is just me. This is the Griddle Guru, just off of griddling. It's my off day. As much as I would love to be griddling, I thought I'd do something different. A friend of mine bought me this brisket as a Christmas present. Man, that's a good friend. You know what I'm saying? Like buying you a brisket. mean, that's amazing. So, man, this is just a lot of fat. Wow. This is no joke. I'm going to keep cutting. You got a place like running a... Ooh, man, there we go. I just took a piece of that out. Yeah, I'm getting kind of close to the meat here. I actually just exposed that a little bit. I'm nervous about that. I just can't tell. That's hard fat. Tell you what, I'm going to go a little bit more here. I'm nervous. I'm going to cut right into the meat. So I think I'm going to stop there. It's just so hard to tell. Now there's this section of fat here at the point I need to cut out here. Well, I read so many different things about people cutting it out. If somebody out here is watching this and you don't cut this point fat out and you're just like, oh my goodness, I apologize. Again, this is not my world. I'm new to the brisket scene. Man, this is a lot of work. I did want to say this about the green egg over there. I'm just going to be honest. I always told my listeners I'm going to be honest with you. There's not even anything on the green egg. I just fired it up at 225 to see how that fan worked, because I really am not. I've never used the fan, the Billows fan, on my smoker. I've cooked ribs a few times in there, and I just try to keep the temperature out, watch it on my own, but it kept getting away from me, so I bought that Billows to help me manage the temperature. But, so there's nothing even smoking right now. It's just the smell of that. I've got some Jealous Devil Chunks extra large charcoal in there. Bought it at Walmart, 20-pound bag for $20. Kind of pricey, I thought, but it smells amazing. And there's not even anything on the smoker. It's just the debris from previous cooks. So there's a plus for smokers. You don't get that on a griddle, honestly. I've never just fired up the griddle and just on account of firing it up, it doesn't emit any smell like I can smell from the smoker. So again, I'm not saying that smoking isn't great. It has its place. I'm a big fan of griddling, obviously. So, man, this is no joke. This is just a lot tedious work. But if it's anything like seasoning a griddle, what you put in is what you get out. Oh man, I just realized as I looked up that I'm not even in the frame, but I don't need to be in the frame. As long as you can see this beautiful brisket. Goodness. All right, I'm gonna cut that off. That's gonna be burnt mess. That's okay. All right, this is some soft fat here. Oh, there's a piece of hard fat here. I was reading so much online that said that you should get, like, there's a silver or some type of silver fat. I feel like that's what this is. It's kind of a weird layer of fat. It's not slimy, but it's just different. Just cutting this. Oh yeah, cutting this away. Trying to get this fat off here. Goodness, there is just so much fat here. Tell you what, this is not for the faint of heart. Oh, I think I dug a little bit too deep into that section there. I don't know. That's still tough. Man. Just getting down in here. Yeah, so if you haven't had a chance to listen to the latest episode of the Griddle Guru podcast, I'd love for you to take a look at it. We did drop it earlier today. It was at one of my daughter's basketball games. And we had people literally at the game like, hey, where's the latest episode? And I was like, I'm sorry, we just didn't get a chance to upload it. So it's uploaded. If you go in there and take a look at it. Oh, man, butchering this. Again, if you're just tuning in, I don't think, well, this isn't like if you're tuning in, you didn't just jump in randomly at the 15-minute mark. But if you, for some reason, did, this is the Griddle Guru coming at you live from Mad City Smash House, a.k.a. my garage, where I typically am found griddling. But today, on this glorious day, I'm trying to put together this brisket to smoke. So, welcome. do not necessarily do anything I'm doing, because I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to smoking a brisket in particular. I've never, I don't even know what I'm doing. I've never smoked a brisket, but I'm about to, know what I'm saying? Okay, here we go. By the way, if you're watching this and wondering what kind of gloves I have on, I have disposable nitrate gloves, non-slip, powder-free. I use these when I'm griddling. You know, when we have people over, I don't want them coming over me and like, oh, did he wash his hands? I mean, I do. The Griddle Guru does. But I'm a big fan of gloves, especially when you're having people over, hosting people. You want to make sure that people feel comfortable, especially if you have your neighbors over. You're like, hey, come on over, and you just got some dirty, grimy hands. No, ain't nobody got time for that. That's right. Here we go. I don't even know what's going on over here on this other side of this brisket. It's just fat galore. I mean, it's just, I don't know if this is just a big chunk of, this brisket so far does not look like any briskets I saw on the YouTube. Maybe it is. Again, this is so foreign to me. There's just so much fat. I think that's pretty normal, though. I just can't tell where this said point is. I don't know. Actually, I feel like, yeah, I mean, I got to cut myself some slack. I've never done this before. So, just cutting away at this meat. I'm sorry, not at the meat. Hopefully not at the meat. This fat. So much fat. I'm telling you, man, I weighed this thing on a scale, literally. In the package, of course. That would be disgusting. And it was every bit of 21.2 pounds. But would imagine this is, I mean, that's got to be 5 pounds of fat coming off this said brisket. I mean, this is kind of fun, but I'm telling you, it's a lot of work. You can't be like pressed for time. Be like, hey, you know what I think? I think I'm gonna go smoke a brisket. You got to have a day or two off, I think. Sick day. No, I'm kidding. I'm not calling in sick. I mean, it's Saturday afternoon. If I call in sick on account of my inability to cut this brisket, I got other problems, because that's like 2 whole days of cutting brisket. Let's see here. Still getting all this fat off. I mean, just an incredible amount of fat. I mean, this is just incredible to me. There's just this much fat on this big old formerly alive animal. And it's just, there's some sections in here that are just tough. Is that the point they're talking about? I don't know. I don't know, man. What are we doing here? I'm just going to keep cutting at this. I mean, I don't want to cut any more of this fat off over here, because you got to have something to protect it. The meat. So, hey, the Griddle Guru ain't winning any awards for trimming a brisket. That's for sure. I mean, this looks, I mean, I ain't scared to show you all this, but I mean, I'm kind of embarrassed. I mean, look at this thing. I mean, oh, okay, let's just flip it over. It's a lot more. Oh, look at this hard fat right here. Big old piece of fat there. Yeah, this has got to be like, I mean, 5 pounds at least of fat. Okay. I do see the end of the road here as far as almost being done, because there's not much fat left for me to trim off here. But it's been, man, this is a boring video. It's been every bit of 20 minutes. 20 minutes, 30 seconds. So, let's keep cutting away. I feel pretty good about this. But again, we'll see tomorrow after a 12-hour smoke. That's right, 12 hours. To which the Griddle Guru wants to say, ain't nobody got time for that. But, It'll be a glorious day tomorrow if this turns out all right. If not, guess what? I'll just fire up my griddle. All right. I mean, oh, here's that. Everybody talked about like a layer of like a gray, like a film almost. And I see it here now on this side. I thought it was on the other side, but it wasn't. Gosh, I feel like I'm butchering this. I mean, yeah, there's like this really thin layer. It almost looks like, not to be funny, like cellophane. Like it's like real thin, just over the top. I think it's silver, like a silverish color to it. I'm trying to get that rid of, because I think you're supposed to. Oh man, that would have been awkward if my hat came down right over my eyes. Eric, my eyes. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. I mean, man, this is something else. I mean, honestly, kind of over it. I feel like it's never ending. But some random people walking by and kind of looking over, seeing what's going on at the Griddle Guru's headquarters, Mad City Smash House quarters. So, man, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Now this is looking good. Feeling pretty good about this. There's some silver stuff here. Again, I apologize. This is probably a bad idea making a video. But watch, we'll have more views on this than listeners on my podcast probably. Because that's how the YouTube works. And if that happens, fine. I'm going to still be talking about griddling primarily. What's up, good sir? We're doing a video on me butchering this piece of meat. Say hello to the crew. And he said he's good. You going to work? All right, man. Well, hopefully, what time are you getting off? Hopefully, if you come back and I'm still here doing the same thing, something's wrong. See you, buddy. Love you. That's my son. He's heading to work. He's the one that usually uploads the podcast for me. I feel like I'm at a point where I should just be done. This is a mess, honestly. This is just butchered. But I feel pretty good about it, honestly. I honestly, I just don't know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So, this is just an experiment, but not really. I mean, I want this to turn out for the Super Bowl meal. But again, worst case scenario, fire up some smash burgers in no time. But I think that this is going to be all right. I really think I think the smoker is going to be pretty forgiving of my incompetencies. Although the smoker might be like, you know what, dude? We can't fix that. So, yeah, I just feel like we're going to be as good as we're going to be. So, I can't tell if this side should go down. I don't know. I'm going to call it a day as far as cutting up the stuff. I'm going to now I have a mixture. It's 50-50 coarse pepper and half salt, half pepper, but not just regular salt. What did I get? Kosher salt. So I've got kosher salt and coarse pepper. So the grains are running this way. Oh, I did remember that. They were like, pro tip, I should cut off the tip here. Because when it's done, oh, I'm going to save that piece of meat. Okay, man, I feel like this is pretty good. I'm going to trim up the edges because it's kind of a mess. I feel like some of these pieces are just, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, listen, is this a perfectly cut piece of brisket? Absolutely not. Not even close. But yeah, I felt pretty good about that. All right, so I read so many things about fat side up, fat side down. I'm not throwing this on the griddle. I'm not throwing it on the griddle, period. But I'm going to put this on the smoker. I've heard you should do fat side up, fat side down. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my pan. That was almost disastrous. And I'm going to put this big old piece of meat inside. Oh, I'm going to leave it right here. And I'm going to get my You know what? Whatever. Here we go. Take my, of course, pepper, salt mix, and just spread it all over here. This should be glorious to eat. Again, we won't know until tomorrow. So, again, you're not getting fast results on a smoker, obviously. But, you know what? Man, I just remembered. Everybody said put a binder down there. You're supposed to put mustard on there. Too late for that. All right, so we're just going to keep going with it. It's supposed to help it bind to the said brisket, but probably going to regret that. But you know what? It is what it is. It's sticking pretty well to it. But I don't know. Again, what do I know? Not much about griddling. I mean, about smoking. All right, I'm trying to get this 50-50 mixture everywhere, even on the sides. This is not a joke as far as work. This is just a lot of work. I hope this is as good as I've had at other places. There's a buddy of mine, James G, who I think he's a regular listener to the podcast. He's a friend of mine. And James G, he is a smoking fool when it comes to briskets. I've had his brisket, and my goodness, let me tell you something. That man can cook some brisket. So, I really feel like I should have put the mustard down. But again, I'm already in it. I'm already in this. It is what it is. I just want to pat. I don't want to rub. I just want to pat this brisket down as best I can. I'm going to let this sit from now until midnight. I'm going to put this brisket on the smoker at midnight tonight, and then let it cook through the wee hours of the morning. All right. Yeah, I mean, I thought that was too. I thought that I had too much salt and pepper ratio. Mixture over here, but I think it's about good. I think that's the point. I don't know. I think it'd be pretty obvious, but oh yeah, this is going to be good. Low and slow. I'm going to cook it 225 for about 7 hours or so until it gets to 165, hopefully. And then there's this thing called the stall that happens apparently. But yeah, that looks good. So there you have it. This is the Griddle Guru. If you watched all 30 minutes of this, I want to thank you. More importantly, I hope you're watching or listening to our podcast. I'll do a follow-up on this tomorrow, let you know how this goes. If I start a video tomorrow and you see pizza right away, you know what happened. Well, Griddle Gurus, much love from the Griddle Guru. Enjoy your Saturday afternoon, your evening. Hope you have a great weekend. Fly, Eagles, fly.